Here's the question most people never ask. Why do some laws that sound like great ideas completely fail? The answer may surprise you. It's usually not because they were bad ideas. It's because passing a law is only the beginning. Making a law work is something entirely different. Now, one of the biggest misconceptions in politics is believing that once a bill becomes law, the problem is solved. It isn't. In fact, that's often where the hardest work begins. Think of it this way. Passing a law is like drawing up the blueprint for a house. But the blueprint doesn't build the house. You still need skilled workers. You need funding. You need quality materials. You need inspectors. You need people who know what they're doing. Government works much the same way. A law can have the best intentions in the world, but if it's poorly written, poorly funded, poorly managed, or poorly enforced or implemented, it may never accomplish what its supporters promised. And that's why good policy making requires more than good politics. It requires good governance. Now, I sponsored and passed an ordinance as a city councilman in Newark, New Jersey that required contractors on certain projects to enter into project labor agreements with the city that meet a number of minimum requirements, including the provision that local residents be hired for at least some of the work. But its success or failure was contingent upon the mayor and his or her administration to enforce the law. Its success or failure was outside of my power or control, but you can best believe that I would have received holy hell and most of the criticism if it actually failed. Sometimes laws fail because they try to solve a complicated problem with a simple solution. Real life is really that simple. Education, crime, housing, healthcare, economic development. These challenges involve people, communities, budgets, and unintended consequences. A single law rarely fixes everything. And sometimes laws fail because there isn't enough money to implement them. Legislators may pass ambitious reforms, but fail to provide the resources needed to carry them out. Oftentimes, or other times, agencies charged with enforcing the law lack enough staff or training or technology to do the job effectively. And sometimes the law itself isn't the problem. Leadership is. And even the best law cannot succeed if the people responsible for implementing it don't communicate, don't collaborate, or don't stay focused on results. Here's another reason laws fail. They lose public trust. If people don't understand why a law exists, or believe it's unfair, or think it was imposed without listening to the community, then compliance drops, support weakens, and eventually lawmakers are pressured to change or repeal it. And that's why public engagement matters. The best laws aren't simply written for people. They're often shaped with people, business owners, teachers, parents, faith leaders, community organizations, and people living with the problem every day. Good legislation listens before it legislates. Now, let me say something that every elected official should remember. Passing a bill is not the finish line. It's actually the starting line. And too often politicians celebrate when the governor or mayor or county executive signs the bill or the president signs it into law, the cameras leave, the headlines fade, and then implementation begins. And that's where leadership is tested. Did the law actually improve lives? Did it solve the problem? Were adjustments made when something wasn't working? Or did everyone simply move on to the next press conference? Good government isn't measured by how many bills you pass. It's measured by how many problems you solve. And that's an important difference. The best elected officials don't just ask, can we pass this? They also ask, can we implement it? Can we afford it? Can people understand it? And will it still be working 5 years from now? And those are the questions that separate political victories from public victories. Remember, democracy isn't just about making laws. It's about making lives better. This is Rice and Reason, the thoughts of a former elected official, law school graduate, and current husband, father, and advocate sharing practical insights on politics, culture, education, faith, and leadership. Subscribe to the channel, like and share the content, and remember to think, it ain't illegal yet.